Hello. Hey Jen. Hey Diana. Hey BL. Hey Vel. How is everyone doing? Good to see you all here on the session. Oh, good to see your names here on the session. Hey Peter. Kindly motivate me. I'm just trading. I'm just trading on the account. Not doing too crazy. Markets have been a little bit choppy all over the place, so I'm still on the live account, just trading along. Peter, if you're in the, let me put the link there again. I'm sure you are there. You know, put those question up into the um, prop trading funded account channel, and we'll take that chat over there as well. All right. We'll give it a couple of minutes before we keep going. Hey Chiwan, how you doing? Hope you're all well. Hope you're all trading well. We shared a couple of trade ideas um, from yesterday to now. I've seen a lot of activity, so really good. Yeah, I did see that, Peter. Yeah, euro dollar. I am actually looking for that sell as well. I'm looking for that potential sell. Bit of a retrace and then back down again. We'll talk more about that later on as we go through the euro dollar later. If you're on the session, whether it is TradingView or on YouTube, do drop a message, say hi, let me know that you're there. I would love to find out. Are you using the MyForex fund from Discord? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. All right, one more minute and we shall get going. Yeah, I intend to write a bit more, get a couple of guys to share a bit more about their journey through the traded account, the funded accounts. So do stay tuned. Contribute, ask questions in that channel. We can take it from there as well. It's quite a good setup, I would say. Hey Celine, good to see you. Thank you for your time. Right, as much as I'm here, thank you for you, and thank you for all your time to come in here, join the session. Hey Jamil, good morning, good day to everyone. Hey Mohab, Patra, how you doing? Alrighty, so let's get started. While we are getting started, do help me out. Click that thumbs up button on YouTube. Click that little rocket ship button on TradingView. Drop a message. Let me know that you're here. I'd love to find out. And then a couple of housekeeping things is the links for Discord is there on TradingView and on YouTube. Do make sure you join the Discord channel. It is free to join. It will be kept free for you to join. So please do jump in. We're having very good interactions over there. And then also, one more thing I was going to say is, what was it? Discord, like and share. Oh, if you're new to the session, do let me know where you're joining from. I want to find out. I'd love to find out where you're joining from, just to get to know everyone from all around the world. Hey, Angel Case, how are you doing? Jamil took a profit on the Euro Yen. Fantastic. Hey, Ayakame. Hey, Kavindu. Good morning, family. All right. So good to have you all here. Again, welcome. Thank you for making the time to join the session, daily market analysis. What we do here, look at the fundamentals. We do have a couple of news release for today, the Canadian CPI numbers to be released. So we're looking into that. We'll do a bit of a review of what happened last night. And then we'll look into the technicals, the price charts, where is price reacting to, bouncing off a level or possibly going to retrace and then bounce back down. We look at the technicals. With that put together, we look for some possible trade setups. I think from last night's or from yesterday's session, I lost one on the pound a dollar. So the pound trade got triggered, but then it straight away went back down, hit a stop loss there, and no other trades got triggered from memory. And I did some quick scalps on the yen and also the pound yen as well. All right, so do let me know what other trades you have got into. Right. If you have any questions on your trades, do let me know. I'll be happy to help you or give you my points of view on those trades, whether it's during this session here or beyond this session on the Discord channel. Diana asked for the NASDAQ and also J Blas, Bless, I guess, for the US 30. So we'll get to that. We'll go through the standard lot of currencies, and then after that, we'll look into the request. All right, this is a request channel. So with that said, quick disclaimer is that any information contained on this webinar should not be construed as advice and is presented as educational material only. Your objectives, financial situation, and needs has not been considered, and you should consider its appropriateness to your circumstances. And please do your own due diligence, DYODD, because the contents of this webinar is not intended to be a recommendation to trade a financial product. Before you jump into any trades, always check, the three things: risk, right? How much are you risking? Never more than 2% at any point in time. That's a total exposure. All right, the trade sizing that you're getting into, right? Make sure you're not over leveraged on the trade. And then thirdly, make sure that any trade that you get or any trade idea that you get from this session especially fits with your own trading strategy or your own trading approach, right? Whether you are a scalper, a swing trader, a counter trend trader, a trend following trader, make sure it fits with your own approach before you do jump into any trades. So with that said, let's keep going. One thing I want to share with you all before we ponder on is that, welcome for everyone who just joined. Good to see you all here. I just did a quick session here, a quick video here about the 5 tips for the Ichimoku indicator. So if you haven't already, guys, it's in the videos to watch channel. You can always jump onto that and find out more about the Ichimoku. If you want to find out more about any particular indicators, do leave a comment there, let me know, and then I will hopefully be able to do a video for you guys on that as well. Okay, hey Nick, how are you doing? So with that said, what was I looking at? Okay, so yesterday, what we didn't have too much. We didn't have too much in terms of news. The Empire State Manufacturing Index, I was saying that I don't pay too much attention to that, but that actually did bring around some dollar strength, okay, because it was a very big swing. You can see that it's always been in that negative territory, right? It's been in that negative territory since December, minus 11.2, January minus 32.9, February was a little bit better at minus 5.8, March at minus 24.6. So it's always pretty much been in that negative territory. Even through before that, we always saw a positive, negative, a big swing. What we saw last night was data or the index went from minus 24.6 to a 10.8, right? To a 10.8. So a big change in terms of the Empire State Manufacturing Index. And what it actually tells you is a survey of manufacturers in the New York State. So this is one of the reasons why I don't focus on it too much, because it's really just a survey of manufacturers in the New York State, quite a relatively small area. So because of that, not one of the news items that I pay a lot of attention to, but with a big swing in data like that, what we actually saw on the charts was at that 8:30 release, it actually, stopped, right? The dollar went down a little bit as we were talking yesterday, bounced back up. It found this 101.60 level as a good strong support. And then on the news release, with that big strong number, we saw the dollar index bounce strongly from this 101.60 level up towards 102.22, right? About 102.22. So it broke above this trend line. I would take this away for now. Okay. And then since it broke away above that 61.8, right? You can see 61.8 was at 102. It's broken above that. So that becomes invalid as well. So I'll take away 61.8. The next interim resistance would be at 78.6, right? 78.6 fib level here, which is 102.35. Given that the dollar index has traded down, has retraced, what needs to happen? This was a support, now turned resistance. Okay, what needs to happen is that naturally I would be looking for this to trade to the downside. Okay, I'll be looking for this to trade to the downside. But given the way the dollar has been trading since Friday last week, right? It's found that support level here, bounced off, and then now looking like it's going to break, but we could see it trade back up. So this is what I was sharing with you guys in the, oops, voice problem. Some weird sound. Okay, I think I'm speaking too loud, that's why. Okay, so this is what happens when the, lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? Okay, dollar index, trend line, breaking up. Okay, I'm looking for this to possibly trade down, or this is what we were sharing in the Discord channel from just before this session, where Jen was sharing about the dollar, the Aussie dollar possibly trading up. But I was saying that it would be nice if it trades up to that resistance level, but it could trade up slightly before turning back down again, because I wasn't convinced that the dollar index is going to trade strongly to the downside. Right? I don't think it will trade strongly to the downside given this current short-term trend. So what I would be, hey Mohammed 63, how are you doing? So what I'm looking for is, while I would like to see the dollar trade down, I think what's most likely going to happen is a bounce and a trade up to that 102.40 level. Okay, so I think that we could see this bounce back up and trade a little bit higher again on the dollar index. To be more specific, I think what could happen is this to trade down, and then after that, something like that. I think something like that. Okay, let me just see this. Right. See, now that it's at that 23.6 level, if this breaks below 23.6, it could come down to 38.2 before bouncing up. All right. So it slightly hinges on what happens at this hour. If it does break down, then we could see it come down towards 38.2 or the previous support to bounce back up again. Okay. So I'm still kind of expecting that dollar strength, brief weakness and then some strength, because if you look at the news, you can see that although we don't have a lot of we don't have any US news to consider today, we did have the pound, which I'll tell you shortly, with their employment numbers, and then we do have the CPI, the Canadian CPI, to be released. If we do see some movements here on the Canadian CPI, that could cause some reaction on the dollar index as well. And also with the current or the previous sentiment, they're starting to talk about, Fed No, I don't see it. Okay, it's only talking about likelihood, increased likelihood for the Feds to hike rates at a May meeting. So we're looking for this to possibly dollar strength come back into play. Right now, it looks like it's going to move as planned, some retracement, and then possibly a push back up again. Okay, so I know part one is most likely going to happen, but we have to see what happens to part two. So 18th April dollar index, we're looking for it to retrace to 1.101 dot 101.60. Let's say 101.65, right? With a possible rebound higher to 102.40. Okay, so that's what I think. If it breaks below this support, then we're going to see that continuation of that downside again. So it comes down to this level. This will be the decision point. Okay, this is going to be that critical area where we're going to see what happens to the dollar. All right, Jamil asked for CAD yen. I'll get to that shortly. Is Forex Factory a better site? Better compared to? For me, I'm only on Forex Factory. I'm on TradingView. I'm on Forex Factory. I'm on Discord, and my MT4. Okay. So that's the view for the dollar index. Looks good. I'm happy with that. Then looking at the Kiwi dollar. All right. So yesterday we spoke about this. I was looking for it to bounce off this level to trade up. Didn't happen. That trade didn't trigger, so it came down, tested that support, very strong support level here. Right, you can see it. The last time it came down to this support level was 22nd of March, and we saw a big trace up. It came 27th trace up, and then most recently on the 12th of April, it went up. So now that it's tested this level and looking like it's pushing higher, I could maintain this same view given that it breaks above 6215, right? I would say about 62, right? 62, this entry will be, I'll put this slightly higher. So it needs to break above this 38.2 fib level, or that 6219 level. That's what I was thinking of, 6220, looking to buy it up, take profit. So very similar to what Jen B was talking about, for the dollar, for the Aussie dollar, we could look at this on the Kiwi dollar as well. Could trade up towards that 6295 level. But I would say that this big move, or rather this whole big move, I would be looking at a possible hesitation, or you might think of a brief, some take profit at this point as well. Okay, so 6255. So this is the level where I'll be looking at. I'll take this away for now. This will be the level I'll be looking at for maybe either shifting your stop loss up to break even, or closing out half of the position. Or if it comes up to this point and doesn't look like it has that strength to continue trading higher, then I'll close out the trade. But I would love to see it hit that 70 pip take profit as well. Hey, M leader, no worries. Better late than never, like I always say. Okay, I'm happy with this. Forex Factory better than my FX. I would use Forex Factory. I don't get paid to say that, but yeah, I use Forex Factory, so I like to stay on that. Kiwi dollar buy 6220, stop loss 30, take profit 70. We maintain that same view, given that this pushes up above 6220. If it comes up to this point, and we're actually, once it breaks above this high, once it breaks above this point, we're most likely going to see this continue on and that trade being triggered. So there's something to watch out for. If it fails at this point or it comes up to 38.2 and fails, I wouldn't be looking to sell this down. Although it's a continuation of that short-term downtrend, but it's a very strong support here. We could see a trade. No, you could see price drop, but I don't think it'd be a good trade to get into. Okay, so that's the Kiwi dollar. Aussie dollar. Okay, Aussie dollar, we're looking for it to test, rebound. It didn't test, it just dropped down to this level, 6687 before rebounding. So I'll take this away just to clean up the charts a little bit. And then it's actually pushed up now, coming to that previous level that we identified as a possible buy. At this point, yesterday, if I remember correctly, I was telling you all that I prefer the Aussie a bit more than the Kiwi. Right now, I think I prefer the Kiwi more than the Aussie. I would say that Jambi's not going to be happy about this. I do think it could climb up a little bit, maybe to that 50% level. It's coming close, or that 61.8% level, 6750. So about 6750 if it does climb up. But what I'm possibly looking for is if this can turn down and trade down. So I'm looking at that 50 pip move, 20 pip stop loss. Yeah, so it's either buying the Kiwi up or selling the Aussie down. What could happen is that, with that current momentum pushing it up, we could see it do that and trade down again. Okay, so we could see that happen, but I would say that I'll choose either between the Kiwi. So that's on DXY weakness. And then this is on DXY strength. Right, so Aussie will be looking to sell down from 6716, about 20 pip to a 55 pip. 6716, stop loss 20, take profit 55. Okay. We look at dollar index if we trade the Kiwi dollar. Yeah, okay, so the thing, I wouldn't, how do I say this? I wouldn't look like so-called focus on the dollar index. What you can do is approach it quite similar to what we do here during the session, is that you can, look at the dollar index first, get an overall view of where prices is likely to be heading towards, or trending towards. Then I wouldn't focus on the dollar index too much from that point. So I get a basis, I get a overall feel of where I think prices could be heading towards. Then I'll look into the Kiwi dollar to be trading the Kiwi dollar particularly. Okay, so the risk of looking at the dollar and then after that the Kiwi dollar, you end up looking at too many things. You might end up over analyzing and missing a trade as well. So use the dollar index as a broad base view. Then after that, look at the individual currency pairs for that particular trade setup. Okay, so that's done. I scalped the yen up last night. So I'll take this away. So it didn't retrace down and bounce, so I was a bit disappointed about that. Would have been a better trading opportunity up. It's broke out of that consolidation, shot up towards 134.50.6 or .60 almost .70. I was trading it slightly to the upside over those 2 hours there, and then I stopped because it came towards that mid level. Okay, so I'll take that away for now. I am still looking. Okay, I don't want to draw too many boxes and stuff. but I am still looking for a potential, right? It's been consolidating in this range there. Could we see a quick breakout on the US yen? This would be a quick trade towards that 135 level. Okay, and if I went to H4 time frame, zoomed right out, you can see 135, tested, and then a big retrace. There is definitely a lot of space beyond 135. The next one at about 136. The next one's about 136 there. But I would think that we could see this breakout, and then after that, retrace before pushing back up again. Okay, so as a very short-term trade, what you could be looking for here is a 40 pip take profit, a 20 pip, right just below that, right in that area, 20 pip stop loss, and breakout trade. Kind of, you could set an order there for 135 as a test. I don't think, with no news, with nothing big happening for today onto tomorrow and then into Thursday. Only Thursday we might see a bit more. Thursday, Friday we'll see a bit more volatility, dragging the euro yen up. Then that's going to drag the US yen up. But for now, I'll be looking for that breakout from 134.55, 40 pip stop loss, 20 pip 20 pip stop loss, 40 pip take profit towards 135. If that breaks, then I'll look for a scalp to the upside. If not, then I'll be very cautious at 135. Okay, so I'm looking for a breakout to 135 resistance, 20 pip loss 20, take profit 40. Price again, about 134.57, 58. Where am I? 134.58. Buy, breakout to that level. Okay. Very pleased. My zone matches your entry in USD yen. Fantastic, Val. Good job. Virtual high five for you. Virtual high five. Right? So that's the US yen. Looking at a pound dollar. Okay, so this is really interesting. It's interesting, intriguing, all that kind of words. I'll show you this. Okay, so we had that big move yesterday, the day before and yesterday, and it came down, bounced off this 1.2353 level, trading up. Interestingly, why I say it's really interesting is because just 1 hour before the session at 2 p.m. GMT plus 8, we did have the UK with the unemployment rate, and it went from a 3.7 to 3.8%. A small increase in unemployment. Claimant count change. So claimant count change is a little bit different. Claimant count change is the change of the number of people claiming for unemployment benefits. Right? Claiming for unemployment benefits. So a big number is not good. A big number is not good because it shows that there's a lot of people claiming for unemployment, which relates to the increases in the unemployment rate. So you pair that together, it's not good news in terms of employment numbers for the UK. Average earnings is up, was 5.7, expected 5.1, came out at 5.9. So people are getting paid more, which kind of will or most likely could compound towards keeping inflation a little bit high, right? Or resisting that slowdown in inflation growth. So, it's not particularly good news here on the pound employment numbers, but on the release of the news at 2 p.m., we actually saw the pound dollar push up. Okay, so I was actually looking at this news release, right? And then it shot up, and I just went, wait, I'm expecting this to possibly test 1.24. I was telling you all, right? Test 1.24 and then trade down. Hasn't done that. It's tested and broke above 1.24. Looks like we might see some upside. All right. The main areas to look at. Okay, so this was the trade that I got into last night. It triggered my trade, and then it shot down, hit my stop loss, 30 pips. That's fine. Take that away. So with this, if price closes above this 38.2 level at 1.2427, we could see it climb up towards 1.2450, which is 50%. But given that bad news, or relatively bad news in terms of employment numbers for the UK, given that we're possibly going to see this come down and bounce, that dollar strength coming into play, I'm considering the possibility of the pound dollar doing this, and then after that, trading back down again. Right, so let me just put in one more level. Still prefer the short pound dollar. Yeah, I know, right? It's odd. It's odd that it's climbing. So I'll let it climb. I'll look for it to climb up, test around this 50% or 61.8% level, and then look for it to trade back down again. Ideally, it'd be good if it really does climb towards a 61.8 level, because then it's very close to that previous level of 1.2483. Then you could be looking to sell down, about 20, relatively tight, about 20 pip stop loss. You could go for a 70 to 100 and almost 120 pip take profit to the downside. All right, so if you had that trade, I would say then you would pay attention to what happens at 1.24 and also what happens at about that 1.2440 level. Right, so a couple of interim levels to pay attention to. Okay, does that make sense to you all on the pound dollar? So we had, as an idea, if we have dollar weakness, we're looking to sell the Kiwi or buy the Kiwi up. Let's sell down, sorry. If we had dollar strength, we're looking to sell the Aussie down. Dollar strength, looking to push the US yen breakout to the upside. A pound dollar, I'll be looking for it to retrace higher before selling down. I would say I'm not even sure it'll go up that high actually. All right, about, even if it's 1.2450 to 1.2470. So pound dollar which is selling down, so about 1.2450 to 1.2470. Stop loss at 1.2470 will be 20 to 110 pips. All right, there we go. That's a relatively detailed view on the pound dollar. All right, do let me know what do you think about that as a possibility on the pound dollar. Might not even go as high, might just test this level and turn down. So if it just climbs slightly and turns down, then it might not be worth that risk of trying to rush in for a quick trade, right? Because we do have quite a interesting level there at 1.235, almost 1.2350. Pound, I think, might be around 1.2440, 1.245, then going down, might want to sell too. Yeah, so we have that as a possibility, I'll say 1.2450 at that point as well. All right, so either of this as a possible entry level for some downside. Looking for that retracement right now. Okay, good stuff. All right, so euro dollar. We were having a chat about this in the office just then. One of the guys was like, "Hey, do you think we can be looking to sell the euro dollar down?" I said, yes and no. Why is because I do think that there's some upside on the euro dollar to go because it's dropped that much, and the previous upward move, you can see it was doing that. So it really came down almost at 61.8 level and then bounce back up. So we could see this trade a little bit higher. And then also if you did that, okay, let me just clean up the charts a little bit. Right, if it does break above this resistance level here, we could see this trade up, consolidate around this 1.1 again. Okay, so look at this. We have this dollar, pound dollar. We're looking for it to sell down, given that we're going to see, some dollar strength. Okay, euro dollar. I would like to see it push up, but I think that 1.1. Hang on, let me do something here. Nope. What am I doing? I think this 1.11 level might hold. So take that away. I'm possibly looking for this to trade up, test this level, and then possibly turn back down again. If that 50% level holds, right? If that 50% level holds, then we could see this turn down. Okay, so what do you think? I was halfway between this could continue trading up, but looking at the dollar index, it's likely to come down, test this level, and I'm still thinking it's going to come down, test this level, and bounce. So that's why I'm a little bit cautious about thinking it's going to push all the way. So I'm possibly thinking it's going to get to 1.10 at a round number level, and then looking to sell down. So you could be looking at take profit about 80 pips, stop loss. It's right in the middle of, just above that point. So I'd say 20 to 30 pips stop loss, about an 80 pip take profit to the downside. Okay, so you can be a bit safer. So about 1.09, below 1.0990, 25 pip stop loss, 75 pip take profit. Okay, so we're looking to sell at below 1.0990, stop loss 25, take profit 70. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. And also, if you saw this, right? If you saw this as a bit of a support, we could really see this turn down. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Okay, good stuff. Next up, US Swiss franc didn't trigger our trade. So a lot of trades yesterday was not triggered. Right, it continued pushing up. Looks like it's going to consolidate at this level. Dollar index still showing that potential for some downside. So I think we could see this trade down towards that support. Right, we could see this trade down towards the support. However, it is right in the middle of that support and resistance level, right? Between that support and resistance level. So I would say that it wouldn't be reasonable to think of if I were to sell down from here, right? If I were to sell down from here, stop loss about 50 pips, take profit about 36, not worth it. Even if I took it a lot nearer, about 30 to 36, 1:1, but it's right in the middle, so I wouldn't be too certain or convinced on the US Swiss franc. I think that we have a lot of other trading opportunities, so I would stay out for now. Okay. Next up, here we go. That's the big one for tonight, right? So this was, I had so many arrows. I was so convinced that it was going to come up and test this 1.34 level. It's either going to go straight up, it's going to come down, bounce, or come all the way down and bounce. It pretty much went straight up to test 1.34. So let me just take these away. All right. So the news tonight, and we can take this away as well. All right, so the news tonight is CPI, year on year CPI for the Canadians. And yesterday, when we looked at this, there was no forecast. Right now, they're forecasting median CPI. You can see median CPI is median price of goods. The trimmed CPI is where it removes or excludes the most volatile 40% of items. Overall, what we're looking at is median CPI going from a 4.9 to a 4.5, a slowdown in inflation growth. Trimmed CPI from a 4.8 to a 4.4, again, a slowdown in inflation growth. If we do see the data come out indicating that slowdown in inflation growth at 4.5 and 4.4, we're coming close towards the Bank of Canada's target level of that 2 to 3% for inflation. So that's good news, right? For it to drop down, it's going to be good news. We're possibly looking at the Bank of Canada not needing to hike rates anymore or further to try and bring inflation down. So that's, this is going to be crucial if you see that 4.5, 4.4 number. With that said, then looking at the US CAD, yep. Okay, at this point, right, currently at 1.3373, what we're looking for here, CAD not having, or Bank of Canada not having to increase rates, might show some weakness into the currency because we always talk about higher rates for that strength, right? So might show some weakness, but it is also coming towards that inflation target. So what I'm looking here on the US CAD is that it is likely to, on the release of the news, given how it's going to move now, trade down towards that 1.3318 level or 1.3320 level. Okay, and with the way the dollar is moving, I think that it's going to, between now to the release of the news, come down to this point or close to this point. But very similar to what we were talking about before, I would actually be looking at a possible bounce along this level. Okay, because if I went to the H4 time frame, you can see that if I drag this right across, again, February, bounce from this level. If it does come down some more to 1.3260, then it's going to bounce. It's most likely going to bounce as well. Not a big distance between the two levels, right? So about a 40 pip move to the two levels. I'm looking for this to come down, and then my mouse is going over the place, and then a bounce back up, right? A bounce back up. So maybe sit out, wait for it to trade down, or wait for it to fit 70 pips. Can have a very tight stop loss here at about 20 to 30 pips. At 70 there. A 1:2 risk, 1:3 risk reward ratio to the upside on the US CAD. Okay, so I'm just looking for this to turn down, test this level, some weakness into the CAD, because as much as they're hitting the target, the talk about no more rate increases from the Bank of Canada might spur the US CAD back up a little bit. So 3330. Stop loss 20, take profit 75. How many of you will be trading the CPI number for the US CAD? Let me know. Buy 1.3330, stop loss 20, take profit 70, 70 something, 25. Are you trading, most likely going to be trading the, there we go, okay. Are you most likely going to be trading the decision? Let me know. Not decision, the CAD CPI number. Okay, and again, guys, the short intermission here is that do help me out on TradingView. You guys are lagging behind at this point. Click that little rocket ship button. The guys on YouTube are leading with the thumbs up. So click away. Okay, that's the US CAD done. Then we look at gold. Right, gold, same thing. I was talking about a possible head and shoulder. That is not going to happen. The picture's already slightly distorted. It shot down because of that dollar strength. So I'll take away these trend lines. Formed a little bit of a double bottom here, not a little bit, but formed a double bottom here at this 1988 level. Looking like it's going to push back up. However, and it looks like it's going to push back up, but it looks like it's going to struggle. I think the big upward push we've seen on gold might have run its course. All right, might have run its course. I'll trade possibly 30 minutes after the news. I'm not. Okay, good idea. Trade after the news as well. We are hitting. Gold is heading into that whole choppy area as it tries to find a direction. So I would say that the last time I said, right, upside potential but likely consolidate for short term. I think it's really now going to sit along this 2000 level with no clear direction. If I were to force a direction, I would say downside actually. I would say a deeper retracement to the downside. So, but I would think that it's going to consolidate along this level as it forms a directional bias. CAD is weak, like to USD today. Maybe we'll take this level waiting news. Yeah. Okay. So gold, I don't have no directional bias. Like consolidate along 2000. Okay, there we go. Pound yen, I was sharing with you guys during the session, well, in the Discord group, where I was looking at this breaking above that 166 level, looking for the upside. I actually did just close out my trade. So I did a relatively quick scalp on the pound yen as it shot up. But that's it, right? At this point, it looks like it might struggle to push up. I don't. I know who I can visualize who will be interested in this trade. If it does turn back down, then you could be looking for a retrace back down again. This will be not a trade that I would get into just because it's not the style that I'll do. But if it does break back down from this resist support level, you could be looking at a 30 pip stop loss, about a 80, almost 90 pip take profit as it comes back into the range. Right? So yesterday we were saying that the pound yen is likely to range had a small breakout, not sustained. I do think that it's going to could come back in and test 165.60 again. I'm gonna wait for it like a kid waits for Santa Claus. Super, Bill. Very good. I hope Santa brings a good present. Wait, I forgot I was right for pound yen. Okay, pound yen is going to could retrace to 165. You guys make me laugh, and I forget what I want to say. 165.60. 60. Okay, there we go. Alrighty, good, good. All right, let me know if there's any questions on these. So now let's get to the list of requests. Thanks for that, Val. We had a question there on the CAD yen. So I do know that there are questions on the indices, but let's get to the currencies first. CAD yen trading right across, consolidating along that 100.40 level. If we do see that, we're talking about possible bounce back up on the US CAD, so that CAD weakness might come back into play. Some brief CAD weakness might come back into play. That would mean that we're going to see this trade back down, but it would be a big counter trend trade, so I would be super careful. What you could be looking for is a test, and then a rebound back up towards 101.20. All right, Jamil. I would say that it's likely consolidate along this level, might trade down a little bit before pushing back up. Anticipating that CAD weakness could cause this to come down. All right, hope I answered your question there. And then, okay, now we look at the indices. Oh, there we go. Okay, this one I usually do H4 time frame. Right now, consolidating. I don't see a big directional push. Looks like it's going to do that. If it does break out, then we could see. I don't think it's going to claim a new high from August last year. So I think that we could see it consolidate. Overall, still looking at that upside. We could see a breakout, but with no big news to be released, I don't see why this would break out strongly towards that 13,600 level, unless we see massive weakening on the dollar index. But we're looking at it bouncing around, possibly strengthening a little bit. So I think that it's going to consolidate between this resistance and this trend line for the short term. Okay, hope I answered your question there, Diana, on the Nasdaq 100. Then on the US 100, now what else? The Nasdaq 100 and the US 30. Same thing. It's almost like the same thing. It's going to come up to that resistance level. At the very most, if I adjusted this resistance, the highest point at 34,369 could trade, or most likely will trade up to that point. But beyond that, I don't see much of a big push up. Okay, So Jablesh, hope I answered your question there. And then, very good, Diana, very good. I'm happy that I've got the same view as you. All right, I'm happy that I got the same view. I'm happy that you got the same view as me. So we're all happy. Okay, so am I speaking faster? I seem to be finishing my session sooner rather than. I seem to be doing a lot more pairs, but finishing the session a little bit faster. So, any questions? Let me know. If not, right, do remember, guys, the channel is there. Hope to see. I see a lot more of you have jumped on, but do jump onto the channel. The links are there. Then NVIDIA says views on pound Aussie. I remember I have pound Aussie here. No, I don't. Okay, pound Aussie. All right, so we were looking at this. It didn't break. Take that away. Pushing up. Pound Aussie pushing up. Let's add this in to the watch list. Why is it pushing up? It's most likely pushing up because of, well, the Aussie dropping down slightly, right? So that looks like a trade that could happen. Kiwi dollar still sitting there. Pound dollar pushing higher, really odd. Pound yen as well pushing higher. Wish I didn't have to close my trade just then. So pound Aussie pushing up because of the pound dollar strengthening. I would say that immediate target, right, with 3 minutes to the hour close. So it's going to close, it's most likely going to close around this level. But we do have that trend line, that near term, short term trend line to the downside, providing some resistance. I would say look for it to break. If it does break because of that pound dollar strength, we could see this continue up. But remember, we were talking about pound dollar pushing up before turning back down. So that could mean that on the pound Aussie, we could see it come up. We could see it come up, test, and then turn back down again. Okay, so yeah, it's just pound Aussie is just I would like to buy it up, but I think that, yeah, with the Aussie trading, with the pound dollar trading up right now, we need to see what happens at this point, whether it's going to retrace back down. If it does push higher, then we a nice breakout on the pound Aussie could see this push up towards that resistance level again. All right. Thank you, Diana. You're most welcome. Glad to have you here. Sure. Fantastic. Thanks, Kavindu. Got it. I was thinking to buy it up at the session start. Now maybe watch a bit longer. Yeah, it would have been a good place to buy the pound Aussie up, especially as it found a similar, equal low there. But it's way too late right now. Way too late. Thank you, Val. I appreciate that. So with that said, I hope you had a good session. I hope you found it informative and useful. And if you haven't already, do jump into the Discord channel. I will be posting this up after this session. If you have any other questions, please feel free to let me know. I'll be happy to guide you through your trading journey. And with that said, I'll see you tomorrow, 3 p.m. GMT plus 8 again. And for now, trade well, trade safe. Take care now. Bye bye.